The final Squid Game 3 trailer was just released and it has revealed even more mysteries. Why are the finalists shown so early and what more important details Season 3 is hiding? Why does the jump rope game look like a team challenge when it's meant to be played alone? Be sure to watch until the end to know everything. Let's start with a trick the director hid in the trailer. At first glance it seems that the final game is revealed and it appears to be the well-known Squid Game. The trailer showed a scene where a player with blooded hands is lacing his dress shoes. This player is Gi-hoon, and we saw this moment in Season 1. A second later, we see a foot in the same fancy shoes step on a button. Even though these scenes go one after another and may look like they belong to the same moment, they are not connected and do not mean that the final game will be Squid Game again. The scene of the hands lacing the shoes was taken from the first season, while the scene of the fancy shoes stepping on the button will appear in the new season. This gives us the understanding that the final game will come with brand new rules, and the fact that the shoes look the same in both scenes is only a visual symbol of the finalists' appearance and not a sign of the Squid Game being repeated. Even though most of the rules are still unclear, we can predict that the task in the final game will involve players hitting a red button that turns green. This also means there could be more than 2 finalists this time, unlike Season 1. So what could the final game be? Be sure to share your versions in the comments. New trailer revealed the 5th game, which was also quite a mystery till now. We see the players enter the game, which consists of a train track placed on a huge height, 2 dolls and a rope. But the rope isn't just a regular rope. In a trailer, we can see that a player was swung into the air by the rope when he failed to jump on time. That means the rope is made from a strong material like metal, and that makes the games more brutal. Also, we see the most shocking detail. The game is played in teams and not individually. In the same shot that a player is swung into the air by the rope, another player is seen to have successfully jumped behind him. Playing in pairs adds extra difficulty to the game, as besides having to jump in time, players also have to watch the opponent behind them to avoid being pushed on purpose and failing. These rules become very similar to the glass bridge game in Season 1, where besides choosing the correct glass panel, players also had to stay aware of the danger from opponents behind them. In the trailer, we get a deeper look into events inside the maze game. The fighting scene between player 120 and another player in the red team was revealed again, but this time with even more unsettling details. We see player 120 mercilessly body slam a player in the red team, and previously the player had been shown to be player 226. However, a new detail was hidden in the background. On the floor behind player 120 and his opponent, we see 2 players on the ground. One player is on the ground while the other player is covering them. A closer look at this scene shows that the player covering the other has white hair and is none other than player 149, while the person being covered seems to be player 222. The 2 of them are wearing blue vests. It is likely that player 222, who was already far gone, was experiencing pregnancy pains, and player 149, who is experienced in that regard, was helping her soothe those pains. Since they were vulnerable, the player on the red team could have been trying to eliminate them both. However, player 120 stepped in and protected them. Do you agree that this is what happened? Share in the comments. The trailer opened up with an emotional scene where player 149 was shown talking to Gi-hoon, who is in handcuffs. She asked if he still blamed himself for the failed rebellion at the end of Season 2. Then she told him something powerful, that bad people do bad things and blame it others to protect their peace. As she spoke, we saw a montage of Gi-hoon's most human moments from Season 1 till now. It started with one of the scenes at the beginning of the show where he gave his daughter a gift. Then it flashed to his interactions with players 199, 067 and 218 in Season 1. There were also shots from Season 2 where Gi-hoon risked his life explaining the rules of red light, green light to new players and begging them to vote for the games to end. The scene then cut back to player 149. She continued telling Gi-hoon that good people like him carry the guilt for the bad people who don't take the blame. Her words hit hard, especially after we saw Gi-hoon beg the guards to kill him in the last trailer. He was broken over the death of player 390 during the rebellion. Gi-hoon thought it was his fault as he started the rebellion. This moment with player 149 could be what gives him the strength to keep fighting. It looks like a sweet emotional scene at the beginning of the show, but it is not. Gi-hoon is cuffed to a bunk and player 149's hair is down, which is different from her usual bun style. So what does this mean? Keep watching to find out. Outside the players, even more shocking things were exposed, one of which is how police officer Jun-ho arrived the island. In a shot, we see the masked guards on a white boat shooting at what seems to be Captain Park's boat. This chilling encounter seems to be in line with the frontman's command from the previous trailer to kill them all. The guards are seen shooting sporadically at the boat. Unfortunately, no bullets were seen flying from Captain Park's boat back at the guards. This could mean that the people on board didn't have weapons, or Captain Park, who had been betraying them all along, had destroyed their weapons at night while they slept. Unfortunately, it seems only Junho is making it out alive, as was confirmed in the previous trailer. But that creates even more questions. Why did the frontman ask the guards to kill everyone, including Captain Park? And how did Junho escape unharmed? Comment below your theories for these questions. Another insane detail that was shown was Guard 11's rebellion. Previously, we had seen her rebel in little ways, like interfering in the organ harvesting of players and defying the Black Head Guard's authority, but now it will be even more intense. The trailer showed a guard in a triangular mask shooting repeatedly at the Black Guard in an elevator. The guard is likely Guard 11, as she wears a triangular mask. It is possible that this fight happened after the Black Guard found out that Guard 11 saved player 246, who was supposed to have been killed at the rebellion. A still cut already confirmed player 246 to be alive, and a leak on Guard 11's actor's Instagram showed player 246 in a guard uniform as well. This could mean Guard 11 rescued him and hid him among the guards. It also seems like she successfully eliminates the Black Guard, as he is shown in the scene to be holding no weapons to fight back. Guard 11 was also shown before to have blood on her face. If she successfully gets rid of the Black Guard, it would mean her plans to destroy the games from within would go smoothly. Comment below if you think she eliminated the Black Guard. Finally, we see the moment of Gi-hoon being invited on the chat with the frontman. In one scene, Gi-hoon is dressed in a finalist suit and a guard approaches him. The guard tells him that the frontman wants to see him. Then we see Gi-hoon walking through the elevator that leads to the frontman's office, and can expect that this is the moment when In-ho will finally share his past and real reason he became a frontman. The trailer, as always, take us into mother and son duo emotional moment. A scene in the trailer shows player 149 tightly hugging a player in red while crying deeply. The player could be her son, as we see the player's hair is short and player 149 would not be crying that deeply about anybody. The scene where she gives Gi-hoon a supportive talk could be shortly after the 4th game where her son was killed. It is likely that he chose to sacrifice his life for her. The scene could play out with him hugging her deeply and taking her knife hair clip to stab himself in the neck while she was distracted and crying. That would explain why her hair was let down in the opening scene in the trailer. It would also explain why she said she was counting on Gi-hoon to save all of them. Sadly, they are not the only pair that would be separated in this new season. Player 100's right-hand man, player 226, was nowhere to be found in the beginning of the 5th game when player 100 entered the arena. This means that player 120 likely eliminated him during their fight in the 4th game. That would leave the mighty villain player 100 all alone and without support in Season 3. This could be a brutal hit to his boldness that was shown in Season 2. Lastly, we see the scene of player 222 shedding a tear with a depressed look on her face again. This scene is a huge part of Season 3's plot because it reveals that player 222 will play an important role in the games. We already confirmed that her baby would be born, as the teaser revealed the cry of a baby at the end. So it might not be the baby that player 222 was crying for, but herself. If she successfully delivered the baby during the games, there would still be no materials to give her proper post-pregnancy care. That would leave her too weak to play the games properly. That means she would be at risk of death. A scene from the previous trailer showed player 333 asking player 222 if she was just going to sit still and die. This enforces the fact that she was weak and couldn't play the games properly. Comment below if you think player 222 will make it to the finals. Sadly, this is the final reveal before Season 3 premieres. So all unanswered questions will remain a mystery till the premiere. Share in the comments what other clues you found in the final trailer that were not highlighted in the video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated about Squid Game before Season 3 drops on June 27th.